Hey guys, this is Tom from Numbers Game Lifestyle, and today we're going to talk about why it's dangerous for both men and women to date below their league. And what I mean by date is actually getting to serious relationships with the opposite gender when they're considerably below your league. And you will know this just by looking at the person. I'm kind of a true crime fan, and I've seen a lot of, there's tons on YouTube about the stories about true crime. And overall, the hundreds of videos that I've watched, I've become very accurate at predicting who is gonna murder who in a relationship between a male and a female where jealousy is involved. Because the majority of cases where couples kill each other, it's usually about, money, essentially. But there are a lot of cases that involve jealousy as well, and breakups. Like if someone gets dumped and then they get jealous and they murder the other person. And these are the ones that you can predict just by looking at both couples, and you realize one of the couples is considerably lower league than the other. And this is a dangerous mismatch. You think it's no big deal, dating someone that's below my league. Not really a big deal. It is a big deal. It can be a very big deal once you break up with that person. As I've seen over and over, and I've predicted these, which one's gonna murder the other one. It's always the lower tier person that murders the higher league person after the breakup. And this is why, in the thumbnail, I included an example. There's tons of examples of this, where a woman dates a man that's considerably less attractive than she is, and he doesn't make up with it, with a ton of money or anything like that, to balance out the disparity between the looks. And of course, the lower tier male ends up murdering the higher league female. In the case of a breakup, as soon as she breaks up with him or cheats on him, he realizes that he basically struck the lottery by going out with this person. It's complete chance that he managed to find a woman that was willing to date him that was considerably more attractive than he'll ever be. She's considerably more attractive than a woman that he'll ever be able to replace. Meaning he won the lottery, essentially. And this is what's the case. If you date a person where they feel like they won the lottery by dating you, it's a telltale sign that you're dating below your league. And there's a very high chance of ramifications when you decide to end that relationship. Because think about it, you're giving this person a lottery ticket. Being I'm in a relationship with you, even though I'm considerably higher value than you. Higher value on the sexual market. And as soon as you take that away, in terms of, breaking up with them, moving on with your life, that's taking away the lottery ticket. You're no longer won the lottery, you're just normal again. And that's what it feels like to these people that are dating, people that are considerably higher league than them. They figure they've won the lottery by being with this person. And so, of course, as soon as that relationship ends, their life essentially ends because you have essentially revoked that lottery ticket. And that's the danger that happens when you date a lower tier, a lower league person than you. You figure it'll be easier, more stable that way. No. As soon as you decide to end that relationship, that's their entire life crashing before their eyes. This is why you'll know when a person is dating below their level, is when their exes, are vandalizing their house or vandalizing their car, stalking them, for years at a time. This is when you know that they've been dumpster diving and dating well below their league. Because if they are equal in terms of, what kind of options each has, a healthy person that is within your league will go, yes, he dumped me. And yes, I'm going to feel terrible for, months at a time. I'm going to be thinking about him for maybe like many years, but at least I'll be able to move on with my life and find someone that I can, replace. Find somebody that replace that guy. He may not be as good, but he'll be comparable. Whereas when you date lower, you dumpster dive in terms of your relationships, that person knows damn well that they will never be able to replace that person, which is why their entire life crashes before their eyes when you do finally decide to end the relationship. And this is why it is so dangerous to get into serious relationships. I'm not talking about like just hooking up, a casual relationship that you see once a week and she comes over and has sex. I'm talking about you continually see her over and over and she's your monogamous girlfriend and she's considerably below your league. You have a very high chance of having like severe ramifications once you decide to end that relationship, because her whole world is going to come crashing down because she knows she kind of struck the lottery by like being with you. This is why it's so important to have, not dumpster dive in terms of the real serious relationships that you get into, because if you are dumpster diving, you are going to get all kinds of crazy things happening as soon as you end that relationship. There's going to be, like vandalism, stalking involved. Most likely not murder, because that's a very rare thing, but their whole life essentially flashes before their eyes because they know they struck like a winning lottery ticket. And when you end that relationship, it's like, no, sorry, you didn't win the lottery. That's what happens to them. And that's why their whole life kind of like crumbles before their eyes. So yes, date within your league. Date above your league. That's what you should attempt to do. You should be attempting to get into relationships with women that are above you. And that way, that once you've been in a relationship with one, you can repeat the same process over and over again. It's not like winning the lottery ticket, which is what most guys go through. When most guys get a girlfriend, it's like winning a lottery ticket to them. They don't have like any idea of how to reproduce that over and over again. So this is one advantage that us guys have. If we date above our league, we know how to do that again and again and again, because we've put the steps forward to make that a reality. It wasn't like a lottery ticket that like, oh no, a woman just came out of nowhere into my life that's considerably above my league and suddenly decides to be in a relationship with me. But this is what happens with the majority of cases of people out there. So yes, guys and women out there, don't date below your league. Don't get into relationships, serious relationships with people below your league. Because as soon as you decide to end that relationship, there are going to be serious ramifications that follow.